Hey guys!
Alright guys, we're here today to do another video from Howard, well, it's not from Howard Jones, it's Light the Torch, but featuring, this is the Howard Jones week on this channel. First we did Scion with our good friend Darren Gines, and now we're here to do another Light the Torch video. The first single, we were a little bit critical.
Yeah, we did that one on Patreon.
Yes, we were a little bit critical.
But after listening to it on the channel, I listened to it again a few times outside of the channel, and you know what? It's grown on me.
Like a fungus.
Like a fungus. It's grown on me.
Like athlete's foot.
I'd say
at a public gym.
I would say in more of a positive way. But yeah, it's grown on me.
Alright, fair enough, fair enough. I haven't given it as much time as you, so I haven't really given it a chance to grow on me. Having said that, I do have the album for review, but I haven't listened to it because I wanted to check out this video and listen to this song with you.
Yeah.
So I haven't really checked out the album. But I feel like once I get into the album and I listen to it multiple times, maybe it'll have the same effect on me.
I think it's growing on me just because of his voice, though.
One of the best voices, not just in the world of metal, in period.
Yeah.
One of the best voices, period. This guy's incredible. Once again, not to be confused with Howard Johnson, the hotel chain. All right, you ready to go for this?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I'm dying to hear what you have to say because you've been listening to the first single more than me.
Yeah.
I only listened to the one time we did the video, but it stayed with me. So okay.
Are you still disappointed as you kind of were in the first one?
I want to get your take on this one. How do you feel this one compared to the first single?
Well, this one compared. I mean, I was expecting kind of like this again.
Were you?
Kind of, yeah. I wasn't expecting it to really hit me with something completely different from the one we got before. Because usually
I thought the first single was better than this single.
I do think the first single was better than this single. I really do think the first single was better. I've also been.
I mean, this song seems.
I've also
just
been
like...
listening to the other album.
that previous album was incredible. There's not a bad song on that whole record, by the way. I just want to say
the reason why is because this song, the other song was in a playlist with the other album, so I ended up listening to the whole album of the other one, and the album was really, really good.
Yeah, it is really good.
And then comparing that album and a few songs in that album that I really liked, like Die Alone.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Like, comparing that one to that one, I still like Die Alone more. So, if I was going to compare both albums, I would say
Well, you only heard 2 songs from the new album.
But if I'm going to compare what I've listened to from the
so
band, so far, the other stuff was better. This song is not as good as the first one. The first one, for me, grew on me, and I actually really like it now. But this one just feels kind of...
There.
It feels very basic.
That's my point exactly. There's nothing really special about this track.
Like,
it's good, but it's not like... Oh, it's not like I'm blown out of the water, you know what I mean?
And he didn't do any the thing I really like about his vocals is the clean ones, even though they are clean like in this song, he always takes it to a different level, and I feel like in this song he didn't do it.
This song was just kind of linear. Linear musically and linear vocally.
And in the last song, there was a little bit of harsh vocals, like...
Very little, but there was a little.
But it was sprinkled in there. Here, it was one at the end, and then that's it.
Okay. You went back to the previous record, right? So in the previous record, there was not a lot of harsh vocals to go around, but I felt that the clean vocals on that album gave you so many ups and downs because they were so emotional. I felt like one of the reasons I connected with that album a lot is because the lyrical content on the album connected with me.
Safety of Disbelief.
That one is one of the best songs that they've ever recorded. I cannot... Even now, when that song comes on the radio, sometimes I'm driving and it comes on Sirius XM, I'm always happy to hear that song. I feel like his delivery, when you listen to the lyrics and you listen to the way he delivers the lyrics, it means something to him. Like, there's an emotional drive to the track. So, I don't want to compare the albums because it's unfair considering that we've only heard 2 singles.
Yeah.
But... one of the reasons why that album worked for me, and going into that album, I was expecting more harsh vocals, and at the beginning I remember being a little bit disappointed that there was not too much of it throughout the record. But then what had happened to me is I connected to the album from a lyrical content perspective. And then I realized that he was using his voice to kind of change the dynamic of the track depending on what the lyrics were calling for. So sometimes a little more sad, a little bit with a little bit more drive, or you know what I mean, a little bit more aggression here and there. So I really connected with that album. So far, these 2 singles, this one to me is worse than the first single.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad song. It's just an average song. I mean, what's special about it? Like, to me, there's not really anything special about it.
And the thing about the other one was the other one had enough for me wanting to check it out outside of the video. Like, it had enough there that had me intrigued to wanting to listen to it a couple more times. This one...
It's just okay.
You know, this one feels like one of those bands that Octane would play. That I don't know the name of the band, but it would be like 3 bands in a row, and all
sound the same.
All sound the same. Like, I would think is the same band.
I'm with you.
The only thing that would remotely...
his voice is...
Exactly. That's the only thing that would...
His voice is unmistakable. You listen to the song, you know who you're listening to. You may not know who the band is, but you know who's the singer.
Yeah.
He's just because he has an incredible voice. That to me is something
But even that couldn't save this song.
The song feels boring. It's a fun... Don't get me wrong. I enjoy listening to the track. But it's not like a song that makes me come back to it time and
I didn't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I just feel like it's depleted of it's depleted of energy. It doesn't have musical energy, and it doesn't have, you know, like emotional energy from the lyrics. To me, it's just kind of like, yeah, you know, it's
a good song.
It's a radio friendly song. It's a good track, but you know, that's it. The first single was better. Now, if you want to go even a step further, this week we did Scion with Barry Gines. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that track of the 3. When you think about the 2 singles and that song, that's to me, that's the best of the 3.
That was the best of the 3, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm more excited now to check out that album because there's an album coming out with him and Jim Dines. So when that record is out, I'm more interested to actually check out that record than I am to check out this record. That first single has so much bite. And okay, for those of you at home, it's just because of it has nothing to do with the harsh vocals. That song just has more bite musically.
Exactly.
It's just it's a catchier
But you
track.
can see his face when he's singing. Like the guy is putting everything out there.
But even the guitar playing, by Barry Fines, even the guitar playing by him is a lot better. It's heavier, has more bite. It gets groovier. That breakdown is incredible.
That solo was amazing.
Like that is a more refined, a more complete, more meat on the bone kind of track. The first single was okay. Not as good as that one, but it was okay. It's a good first taste. To me, this one kind of left me a little bit like, wow, this. I mean, if the first single didn't have a lot of meat on the bone, this one is just the bone.
But the thing is, I kind of expected it to be similar to the first one. It's
similar, but it's similar. It's less impactful.
The other one had the guitar, and the other one I felt like the guitar in the other one.
I felt the guitar in the other one was better,
and it was also a little bit heavier.
A little bit heavier.
And then even though the other one had way more of the synthesizer, which the synthesizer you can always overdo it sometimes.
This one had that one portion there that went completely like Tron.
Yeah.
It looked like something out of the 80s.
But the last one, since the synthesizer was there throughout most of the song, it was able to blend with the guitars to make the guitars feel bigger.
It made the overall volume of the song feel bigger. But this one was just one little portion there, like a little bridge
exactly.
there.
Since they weren't there most of the song and the guitars themselves weren't that heavy in the song, it just felt flat.
It just feels like an okay song.
Yeah.
It's once again, did I like it? Yeah, I enjoyed the track.
I didn't hate listening to it.
Exactly. Am I going to put it on my playlist? No, I'm not going to put it on my playlist. It's just it's one of those songs that you've heard a million times before and doesn't really bring all the boys to the yard. That's my take on it. I don't know. This album, I'm starting off this album like a little bit like
on the fence.
Yeah. Having said that, the previous record, I felt the same way. I was a little bit on the fence when I.
Yeah, but now that you know the sound of them, it's going to be harder for that to surprise you now.
Now,
it's different.
The other one, I was a little bit on the fence because I wanted something a little bit. I thought the album was going to go one direction, and it kind of went in a little bit. I thought the album was going to going more towards Kill Switch Engage. And it went a little bit softer. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once I started listening to it, like you said, it was kind of a fungus. The more that I listened to the album, the more it grew on me, the more I liked the songs, the more I liked the record. Not to say that this one won't do the same thing. And once again, when you're listening to the singles, you're listening them outside of the context of the whole record. One thing is for you to listen to a single here and a single there. When you listen to an album from beginning to end, sometimes songs become better just because of where they're placed within the record, because the song before kind of adds something to it, and then the song that comes after continues adding something to it, and some songs feel better. It's happened to me where I heard an album, and I was like, wow, I really like these songs. And then I went to listen to the songs outside of the context of the album. I'm like, wow, this not even sounds like the same song, because it didn't have that same flow from track to track. So maybe that will play an impact. But out of the 3 singles that he's released this year,
Corbin Gines.
I was gonna say the one with Friendly Giants is the best one so far. You know what I mean? Like that song was absolutely aces.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. And speaking of collaborations, did you hear that Nick Nocturnal is gonna release an album with Phil from All That Remains?
Really?
Sorry. They're working on a record together. It's gonna be like a 2000 metalcore sound record. Like old school, early on metalcore. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is going to join them, but it looks like Phil, I think his last name is Labont, from All That Remains, him and Nick Nocturnal. He announced it on Twitter last week that they're doing a project together. Big things for our boy Nick.
Big things.
Yeah, I know. Our boy Nick is moving on. I'm happy for him.
I'm happy too.
Yeah, I look at him like the son I never had. All right, guys, on that note, come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you. See you guys.
See ya.